A new report says faith groups are curbing their work in Haiti. They cite the 2021 kidnapping of more than a dozen missionaries and the unsafe and dangerous conditions in the Caribbean nation. The volatile situation is affecting Catholics already in the country, and one religious sister tells Aid to the Church in Need that it's even unsafe to attend Mass. All this after the murder last summer of an Italian nun who was shot and killed right on the street. We go now to Edward Clancy, Director of Outreach for Aid to the Church in Need. Ed, good to see you again. Thanks so much for taking the time to join us. Talk to us more about the conditions in Haiti right now and what is happening as far as all the recent violence against Christians, in particular Catholics.
Well, the situation in Haiti is bad and getting worse. It's degrading from a bad start. And the violence against the church is principally because the church stands up for the poor and is in places where many other people don't want to be. And it puts a lot of nuns like Sister Luisa Del Orto, who died a couple of months ago, in harm's way because they're in the places where the gangs are and they're trying to control the poor people.
Yeah, and as we mentioned earlier, faith groups say that they're reluctant to send missionaries to Haiti now. Can you tell us a little bit more about that and also the impact that may have on those living in Haiti who may rely on the services and the help of missionaries?
Well, it's always a sort of a toxic mix when you have poverty, government ineptness or corruption, and lack of education. And I think the gangs and the evil forces in Haiti are preying upon that, and the Catholic Church and a lot of these not-for-profits stand in their way in a sense. And not that it's a conspiracy or anything, it's just that they happen to be in places where these people are in trouble and the gangs want to be. And with the deaths of Sister Luisa and then the abduction of dozens of other workers, it's become a place where it's not very safe. And yes, even during Mass, things are not good. Sister Marcela Cartoza, who we interviewed, said that, in the orphanage which she runs, there's 150 children. They closed down the streets, so you can't even get in and out. And this is all controlled by the gangs. And the government really is doing nothing to help them.
Yeah, it's really unbelievable. Haiti, as we know, has really been a country in turmoil for quite some time. But what do you think is fueling this current destabilizing conditions? We know that Haiti really hasn't had an acting president, I think, in more than a year.
Yeah, that's one of the core issues. There is really no government. A priest that we work with told me that what they say is the gangs. There is no law. There is no brother or sister or mother or father. There's just the gang. And so what that means is that that's the rule. The rule is power and control, and they fight each other. And just to give you a little information, a statistic that might tell you something, only 3.1% of the population is above 64, and 30% of the population is below 14. So you see that it's a very heavily young population, and schools are closed. So you have the possibility of these troubles continuing because the children really have very little opportunity unless, something is done.
Yeah, it's tragic. Something else tragic, we've been talking about Sister Luisa. Can you talk to us a little bit more about her, Ed, and her work?
Well, she was a missionary sister from Italy. She was in an order dedicated to the philosophy of St. Charles Foucault, who died in Algeria in a similar manner. He died because he was with people who didn't necessarily want him to be there. And Sister spent 20 years there, and she was considered, Sister Lou, as they might call her, and respected genuinely across the board. And that's why it was so unusual that she was killed. Oftentimes, light-skinned missionaries are given a little bit of leeway and forgiveness or protection, even by the gangs, because they see them as doing good work and not getting involved in politics. And that's why this is really troubling for a lot of the aid agencies, because they see even when we're not doing anything to cause trouble and just helping people, we can fall victim to this kind of violence. And, Sister Sister Louise is one of the incredible superheroes of the church. She was in a place where most of us wouldn't want to visit, let alone live for 20 years and serve the poorest of the poor.
Yeah, she really was amazing. Ed, thank you so much for taking the time to speak with us about this very important story. We appreciate it.
You're very welcome. Thank you, and please pray for Haiti and the people there.